well, basically passed the primaries was because he plagiarized an entire speech.
Eulogized him when he was dead. Yeah, he was in the KKK. Who cares? Just vote them. You ain't black if you don't vote for me. Yeah, that's actually what I said.
Wow. All of these claims happen to be true. Hello friends, welcome to the YouTube channel. Today we got some good one for you. Listen, we're gonna spend some time together. First of all, High Raz just dropped another one of those politically savvy, well thought out and AI touch type of song with a whole lot of common sense and loaded with truth in it as well. So this is one of those good stuff, and we're gonna react to that because there's a lot of truth in this. This was just released, and I'm thinking, man, that is so thoughtful. And I do have some stuff to share with you at the end. Make sure you sit tight and enjoy the show. If you happen to be new to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, link in the description below, like and subscribe to the page, click the bell icon for more. Go show High Res some love as well for the work that he's been doing. Hey, without further ado, let's now get into the heart of the message here.
It's your boy, Joe Rogan. I mean, Joe Biden. Joe Namath. Barack Obama's VP. And this is my new song. Corn Pop was a bad dude. Me and Hunter got matching tattoos. When we got money from Ukraine gas companies, they paid in cash too. I was the first man to land on the moon. I invented the fork and spoon. The leader of a whole damn platoon. I helped Michael Jackson write his tunes. I was there at George Washington's birth. And when Peter invented the church, I taught Kelly Slater to surf. I'm the greatest president on earth. I was there when Abe Lincoln was shot. Me and Bob Norley smoked pot. Used to be a fireman and cop. I was there when 50 Cent was shot. Kids rubbed the hair on my legs. I'm the one who got out of debt. Robert Byrd was my good friend. Eulogized him when he was dead. Yeah, he was in the KKK. Who cares? Just vote them. You ain't black if you don't vote for me. Yeah, that's actually what I said. I was arrested during civil rights. Never mind, I was with the whites. I used to drive an 18-wheeler. I taught Mike Tyson how to fight. Three-letter word, J-O-B-S. No time for your BS. Check my face, I always seem stressed. I need a break, is it recess? Why are stairs so hard to climb? Like Logan Paul and KSI, I'm in my prime. High Res help me write these rhymes. 2 p.m., it's my nap time. You're a dog-faced lion pony soldier. Come on, man, let me sniff your kid. Whoops, I already did. If you don't vote for me, you're so mid. I went to an all-black college. Top of my class, I have knowledge. I'm so Polish, I mean polished. I used to work at the Olive Garden. I can relate to the people of Maui. How can I make this thing about me? My garage burnt down. Almost lost my wife, my Corvette and Audi. Ford Tids are just as bright as whites. Come on, man, Uncle Joe is right. I'm honest Abe, I never lie. Me and Taylor Swift are really tight. I'll lead a strategy mobilizing true international Russia. So if you want Biden 2026, vote for me this September. You're a lying, dog-faced pony soldier. Come on, man, you're a lying, dog-faced pony soldier. Come on, man, you're a lying, dog-faced pony soldier. Come on, man, you're a lying, dog-faced pony soldier. Come on, man, come on, man, come on, man, come on, man.
Oh, hey. Didn't see you there. So, guys, I really had to change of heart. I was really wrong over the last few years. Why Joe Biden is the greatest president of all time. I made this book, and I want to try to convince you guys too. So, as you can see on page 1, this is for sure, in my opinion, I start off with some of the most convincing arguments about why he's the best. But if you go to, let's see, page 2, it's really hard to decide between page 2 and 3, but as you can see, there's a whole bunch of pages of why I think Joe Biden is the greatest president of all time.
Lord.
So if you want to convince your friends the same thing, make sure you head over to PresidentBidenBook.com and grab yourself one before they're gone. I appreciate y'all. Peace.
All right. I think there's somebody else who did this, who wrote a book about Joe Biden and had nothing in there. I'm not sure if he's about Joe Biden, but a book, an empty book that contains nothing at all. And first of all, The creativity of high-res is out of this world. I'm still trying to understand the nature of AI. I'm not sure if I'm for it. I think AI could be a blessing, but it might turn out to be a curse. But again, we can blame everything on AI, right? You put a video of me out there doing something strange, I'm gonna say, "Hey, that was AI. That wasn't me." So, but the words of the songs are all things that Joe Biden actually did say. I've actually heard him say some of these things, and it's pretty crazy that he put that one together. Very well thought out and well done. There's been a lot of AI music coming out lately. Some of them are actually really funny. He's got a number of them, and on his channel. And I noticed his political views has changed over time. I think ever since the pestilence-19 pandemic, when we had to be injected with that magic portion. Ever since that, I've noticed a lot of people just completely make a bold stand for. I'm not sure if you would call him on the right, but he seems to be more like the type of person who stands for the people. Him, Jimmy Levy, and this is a war on our children. These type of videos, these type of songs, actually, they were ministering to a lot of people's hearts, including my very own. So our guy Joe Biden is in serious trouble. He's not in a good condition mentally, and if you don't seem to know that by now, it's pretty sad. I've learned a lot of things. Number one, my friend Darth Vader was talking to me about Joe, and he was telling me that in the last live stream, there is something going on with Joe. So what he was saying is that Joe Biden is guilty of plagiarizing people, which I didn't even know that was true. And guess what? I found a video to confirm that. So this is the part where Darth Vader was explaining that, which kind of went over my head because I never heard such a thing before. So listen to this, and then I'm going to bring the facts.
Before we get into the whole Alex Jones thing. So apparently plagiarism isn't just limited to those getting PhDs. It's also good for, future presidents.
Oh, yeah.
Because if anybody remembers correctly, this isn't the first time Joe Biden ran for president. This is his third attempt at running for president. And one of the previous times, the reason he didn't get into, basically past the primaries, was because he plagiarized an entire speech.
Yeah.
And that's what got him knocked out of the race.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yep,
Side note for context.
Yeah, when he said this, I was like, okay. So I was still like, it's never been a thing. Well, guess what? I found the rest of the story. So my friend Darth Vader was on point again.
Reappeared in the New York Times with a new charge that Biden had appropriated a famous litany from the late Robert Kennedy about what the gross national product cannot measure.
It cannot measure the health of our children,
the health of our children,
the quality of our education,
the quality of their education,
the joy of their play,
or the joy of their play.
Biden gave Kennedy no credit. He has also quoted or paraphrased John Kennedy, Hubert Humphrey, and British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock, all without credit.
Joseph Biden admitted today that he committed plagiarism when he was in law school. He said it was a mistake, but that it was unintentional.
He quoted 5 pages of someone else's work without proper citation.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
He was given an F.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been dumb.
To the political community in Washington, it all seems of a piece. Plagiarism at law school, plagiarism on the stump.
The great communicator. Strike that. The great imitator.
You don't steal verbatim, or when you do, as he did 99% of the time, you give credit.
Biden's critics say he sells himself as a man whose words and visions can inspire a new generation in politics. But if the thoughts, phrases, and visions really belong to others, it's a form of false advertising.
Is it a wise idea, though, to take something that personal, anyway, from another politician and try and appropriate it to your own campaign?
I think it was a stupid thing to appropriate material that was really very personal, that was someone else's.
Most people didn't know who he was, Joe Biden, and now they're going to say, oh yeah, he's the guy who plagiarized. That's
a lot of people.
Politically, that's devastating.
If they're going to do things that are stupid as well as immoral, then they're probably too dumb to have the job of president.
So, This was the way the media used to report the news back then when they weren't so supposedly, partisan. Things have changed so much, but today you cannot get the left to even speak, not even remotely close to what some of these men were saying. So, yeah, Darth Vader, you were correct. The man was plagiarizing. That is crazy. But recently, news came out from, and again, we had a video about this with Awaken with JP, where he played a clip of Alex Jones talking about Joe Biden's condition in the White House and how things were and how much drugs he's under and that he's running around naked. The man is not in a good condition health-wise, and I think it is cruelty to be using and abusing him to that extent, and the people that are behind the scene handling Joe Biden. Shame on you.
With it. But yeah, he is completely out of his mind. He wanders around for the entire 2.5 years. It's getting worse. Naked in the White House. In the middle of the night, doesn't know who he is. They have to give him a bunch of drugs, a bunch of amphetamines in the morning. Then they've got to drug him at night. Sometimes he's got to, though, he'll like be out for the morning for a while, and then comes back out at night for a ball. That's when there's a real problem.
He is on drugs. I have established that, and I know someone who witnessed it. I'm not guessing at this. I know someone personally who witnessed him taking amphetamines.
We know it's all.
So go check out that video, by the way. We have it on our channel. So it's like one of the good ones. We have a reaction to it. Awaken with JP exposes the Bidens and Jeffrey I can't say it. I'm not allowed to say that. So it goes back to what the man was talking about in his video here. Epically true and on point, cannot be denied. And there is a news clip that came out a couple months ago, and I've been wanting to actually talk about that one. That came from Black Conservative Perspective, and I was really loving this. Hearing CNN kind of going after Joe Biden's lies and addresses so many things that he said. He was like, oh my Lord, you get this once in a blue moon, and when it does happen, you need to keep a record of that.
Similar things, but he's sort of told some stories that don't line up quite like this before.
Yeah, this president has a pattern at this point of either inventing or embellishing stories about his own past, his biography. He did it 3 times in one speech last month alone. He claimed he had witnessed a bridge collapse in Pittsburgh when he actually showed up about 6 hours later. He claimed that his grandfather had died just days before he was born himself at the same hospital. In fact, his grandpa died more than a year before in a different state, not the same hospital. And he also repeated a favorite false story that I and others have debunked over and over again about a supposed conversation with an Amtrak train conductor he was friends with, who was actually deceased at the time the conversation would have had to take place. And that's not all. There are some more serious ones in my view. Previously in his presidency, he claimed at one point he'd been arrested during a civil rights protest when, in other versions of the story, he just said an officer had taken him home from a protest. He said he had visited the Pittsburgh synagogue where worshippers were killed in a 2018 mass shooting. In fact, he had actually spoken to the rabbi, but never went. And he's made a whole bunch of others too. He said at one point, Republicans like to bring this up, he said that he used to drive a tractor trailer, he used to drive an 18-wheeler. Never happened. The White House later clarified he used to drive a school bus at one point as a job briefly. School bus, of course, not an 18-wheeler. So whatever his intentions, whether it's foggy memory about stuff that's going on decades ago or deliberate embellishment, this is an unfortunate pattern that keeps coming up again and again with Joe Biden.
Wow. that is a little much. Again, I don't know where you stand when it comes to this. For me, I have a heart of compassion for Joe because he's a human being. But at the same time, I think there are policies and things he's done in office that he's going to have to go to the Lord for repentance and forgiveness. If not, it's going to be some serious judgment. But I tell you what, I think it's still wrong, though, for the way he's being abused and used by the powers that be. There are obviously handlers behind the scene telling Joe where to go, what to do. Even Donald Trump on many fronts. Donald Trump had to make fun of Joe. And I'll tell you what, he was right.
Where am I going? Where the hell am I going? I want to get out. Oh, no, over there, over there. Where am I going?
Yeah, so this has been a common theme. in Joe Biden's presidency. We do know that Joe Biden is failing, man. The man is failing, and it's a shame that they keep pushing him over the edge, and I think it's wrong. And if I don't want to be his wife, but if I were his wife, well, with all this transgender stuff, anything possible nowadays, you know how this stuff is. All right, we can claim it, take it home and frame it. But here's the thing. His wife should be going in there and saying enough, throwing the towel and say, leave my husband alone. You guys are doing too much. He needs to be left alone. He needs to live this last years. Joe Biden belongs in a nursing home. And he, at this point of his life, he should not be at the helm of, this is the free world. We're talking about, here is the chief commander, the man who is responsible for one of the greatest nations in the world, is in that condition. It's not something to laugh at, because having any kind of mental condition, being demented, senile, whatever you want to call it, it's just that it's not funny. It's actually sad. And the people that are pushing this, I think it's cruel. I think it's evil. And I will say, the music video is on point. And, it's like the Democrats could hardly deny it anymore. They used to say, oh, nothing's going on. Joe Biden is fine. He's doing just fine. Just look at me. I was like, yeah, we've been looking at you, and we realize something's wrong. And I don't wish evil on you, but my man, it's time to quit. I don't know why will any Democrats back up Joe for 2024, knowing the condition he's in currently. Like, if you backing up this man, knowing his health is falling apart, you really don't care about him as an individual. You better find a better candidate, or vote Donald Trump. But they are barring other candidates in the primaries from running in different states. I think Colorado is one of them. Michigan might be one of them as well. Different Democrats from running because they want Joe to win. It's like, so you want an empty suit. You want someone you can simply control, do whatever you want with. What is this? This is not even fair. So people who can actually run the country, put laws together and policies together, they don't even want them to run against Joe. Because why? Joe is the kind of president some people want, because he's easily manipulated and controlled whichever direction they want. The powers that be and the people who are really behind the scene, the donor class, the administrative state, whatever you want to refer to them, they are obviously some people who just love president in this kind of condition. It fits their narrative. It gives them power and influence over masses of people. It's obvious. Okay, wait, I'm done talking. Before you say I have a conspiracy, what do you call it, tinfoil hat on? I don't have one on, but you can put one on my head. There's some really shitty stuff going on behind the scene, and I think the media can no longer deny this. When people were talking, hey, Joe, he's in not a good condition. Look, things are not right. Look at the gaffes. Look at oh man, nothing's wrong with Joe. Oh, be quiet. Leave him alone. He just loves his son. He's a great president. I was like, okay, you still believe that? Anyway, share your thoughts with me in perspective. I want to hear from you. Have a good one. Bye.